guys? Matt here, coming to you from Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson. So I was talking to my friend Stefan the other day, and you guys have heard me say it before on the channel. You know, I have my new CVO Road Glide ST. One of the things that I miss about my street glide, probably the only thing I miss about my street glide, is my hydraulic clutch. I really liked my hydraulic clutch a lot. And so Stefan, being the smart guy he is, Harley enthusiast, always looking to make everything better type of guy, he said, well, Matt, there's this clutch that I actually had installed on my personal bike, the Mueller clutch. Is that how you pronounce it?
It's Mueller, like Mueller, which is my last name, but just with the U umlaut, Mueller clutch. Yeah.
So he said, this is the hot ticket. I'll bring you one and we can test it out. So he flew all the way from Germany. Here we are, my bike's on the lift. We're gonna check this clutch out. It's still gonna be a cable clutch, but you just change the ramp and angle, I guess. Is that, what are you changing exactly?
Yeah, you're changing the ramp and angle and the clutch adjuster. So you discontinue the plastic clutch adjuster from which is Harley stock, and you put in a metal one that can be fine-tuned exact to the clutch plate that you want to have. And I was missing the hydraulic clutch on my 23 CVO Road Glide as well. And about 5 weeks ago, I installed the Mueller clutch, and now I'm not missing the hydraulic clutch anymore. So let's see. I hope that Matt is happy with it as well. Otherwise, lunch is on me, and I have to pay some parts and labor in order to reinstall the stock system. So fingers crossed.
You know what, I was very skeptical about Stefan when he came in and told me he had like the holy grail of suspension. I didn't believe him. And then I rode it and
Excuse me. We have to talk about this.
Okay, well, yeah, now he's bugging me about my new bike. But on my street glide, he convinced me to get the Wilburs, and honestly it was the best choice I ever made suspension wise on that bike. But now I have the CVO Road Glide ST, and we've got the really high-end remote reservoir Showa stuff on there, and I'm pretty happy with it. But you know, Stefan's thinking maybe I could be happier with the Wilburs. I don't know though.
This is not a Wilburs commercial, so let's focus on the Mueller clutch today.
Okay.
Therefore, I brought my Laidlaw.
Yeah, he's ready to work.
Yeah, I'm not branded for suspension today, so let's work on the clutch, and fingers crossed, the stakes are high. How much are 2 clutch cables to replace and 5 hours of work here at the dealership?
5 hours? 5 hours?
Yeah, for 2 bikes, because Steve is getting another set, so we want to have 2 bikes transferred, but it's not just Matt's, so we want to have Steve's bike as well, and then we have 2 bikes on the Mueller clutch, and you get the best out of this channel.
Okay, well, so he says the benefits are you have a larger range of motion for the friction zone, a lot less of that on-off feeling with the clutch, which is good, but if you do too much, then the clutch can feel mushy and the engagement can be a little bit sluggish. But Stefan's telling me that's not the case. Yeah, the other thing I don't like so much about a cable clutch is kind of that notchy feeling, and this one's supposed to be smoother, right?
Yeah,
Stefan?
much smoother. You have about only half the force you needed on the lever to pull the clutch. It's not a new clutch, so the basket and the clutch plates remain stock. It's just the engagement system that will be changed. I'm running it with stronger springs on the 131, which it needs, and I'm not burning any clutch plates and that stuff, even doing a lot of slow speed maneuvers. Big shout out to Robert
Simmons, dude. Keep it loaded, all right? We got my man John T working on the bike today. Going to be doing the work. He does all the work on my bikes for me. Great technician. So yeah, let's take a look at what we got here.
I'm just reading, and the power clutch used to be the custom part of the year 2003. That was even before when you were born, Matt. Huh? We got here the mighty stock clutch actuator from my single mode. Oh, the other way around. So this way. And here is the Mueller Power Clutch as it is packed and delivered. So let's unpack it and compare the two things, because I was not sure whether I could convince you to do the transformation, and therefore I brought it from my bike. and that's the Mueller clutch. And you see those ramps are shaped different, and therefore giving you a wider friction zone and less force needed on the lever. You reuse the steel, the stock steel balls, and then for the plastic adjuster, here is a metal one that allows much precise clutch lever play adjustment, but we will see that later. And so you have easier clutch pull, wider friction zone, and the clutch lever play exactly where you want it and not where a Harley designer wanted you to have it. Because every rider is different and you have your personal preference, how much lever play you want to have. And with the stock plastic application, that's not possible. It's always one size. And this one is more for the individual adjustment. Basically, the whole clutch is the same. And you can combine it. I have combined it with stronger clutch springs for the 131 on the older bike, and on the 121 everything is stock, so I just changed the mechanism, and yeah, you will see it hopefully, or I have to pay lunch.
I'm back here with Steve as well. Stefan has convinced Steve to do the same thing. Steve obviously is our service manager, so he knows these bikes mechanically inside and out, and he's going for it.
What's up guys, Steve Garcia here from Laidlaw's. I guess we're both doing it, right Matt?
Yeah, what are you hoping to gain out of this thing? Like,
I don't know, the way he was explaining it to me, I guess it's gonna obviously feel smoother. I was a big fan of the hydraulic clutch, so that's always good. I don't mind the cable clutch, but smoothness is always good. Especially us that we go on these long rides, it's kind of nice to not have to worry about arm pump.
yeah.
As lame as that sounds, but we are getting older, you know? Smarter, not harder. Stefan's never let me down before in the past, so I love my suspension, front and rear. Shout out to Weber's and Stefan. So I trust them. I don't trust too many people, but Stefan's one of them, so.
He's got a good track record so far, so yeah. First impression, guys, I haven't ridden the bike yet, but first impressions, just pulling the clutch, it feels really smooth. For me, like the tension, the stiffness isn't so much an issue. I mean, I still have pretty young, strong hands, so that's not a big issue for me, but I just like that buttery, smooth pull, and it's a lot better than the stock so far, so. All right, we're gonna get Steve's first impressions here. I think he's gonna take his bike out for a test ride right now.
It feels smoother already.
Smoother?
Yeah. Definitely has more. We'll see.
Did you try it already?
I'm gonna go test ride it right now.
Okay, take some.
I hope you're right, Stefan.
Or we're gonna make you put it back to stock.
Let me.
Dude, I will say, like, it's super smooth. Like, there's not a single like notch in the clutch pull at all. It's a very fluid, seamless pull feel, which I really like. That's kind of one of the things that you get from a hydraulic clutch. There's no free play at the end, and so I'm just worried that, okay, is there gonna be like slippage, like clutch slippage? And that's the biggest thing. We don't want the clutch slipping. So Steve's gonna take it out, check it out. All right, so we're gonna get John's first impression before I ride it.
It feels easy.
Feels easy?
Yeah.
So that means lunch on Matt or on me? I think
Well,
lunch on Matt.
I gotta ride it.
Doesn't slip and it has good engagement. And, so it just feels very, very light. Cool.
What's your slip test, John?
It's an old school trick that one of the old guys taught me a long time ago. Basically, put it into a higher gear and kind of dump the clutch like you're going to do a burnout. And if it bogs down, it's grabbing. If it revs up, it's slipping.
And it didn't slip?
It did not slip.
Okay.
Okay, well he gave it the old school bog trick. So I'm gonna take it out and test it out now.
And so, Mr. Matt Laidlaw, who's buying lunch?
I think I am actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually, now that it's running, it's a lot easier to pull the clutch. So even easier, less clutch effort than I thought initially. And yeah, it's smooth, like all the way through. It's a very even tension all the way through the range of motion of the pull of the clutch. I'm very happy. Yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping for.
So in my opinion, the stock one with the spring and the clip, you don't get a fine-tune adjustment, and then with the spring, there's a lot of play when you pull the cable in. It kind of flexes and binds, I think. And I think that's where the ratchetness comes from. On this, like this aftermarket style, where it's actually threaded and more of a solid piece and solid engagement, there is no play when you pull the clutch lever in and nothing binding. So I think that's where the ratchetness comes from.
What I loved about my hydraulic clutch is you didn't have that notchy, uneven pull resistance. This has a very fluid, even pull resistance through the entire thing. So yeah, we're talking about super snob motorcycle stuff here for sure. But you know, you pull the clutch in so much that for me, it's a big thing. Alright, so Steve just got back from his first test ride. He's got the Road Glide here, 2022, so we're gonna get his impressions of the Mueller clutch here.
Cool, overall, I'm happy with it. It's super smooth. It reminds me a lot of my 14 Street Glide with the hydraulic clutch. Pretty quick install as well, even though Eric made me do a lot of the work, tear down work, but that's cool. It's what we do, teamwork here. We're gonna carry it here at Laidlaw's. Reach out to me in service, reach out to parts. Runs for about $240, I believe. Labor, depending on your exhaust, could be as simple as an hour or 2 hours. Give us a call and we can give you the right answer. I highly recommend it for people having a little trouble engaging and disengaging their clutch. I know I have a little arthritis depending on the weather, and this definitely helped a lot with pressure, with engaging and disengaging. So I would highly recommend it for even the older guys that are having trouble, you know, shifting. Not that that's a bad thing, but this is I feel like they invented this to kind of help out with that.